Dear, if there are conflicts and disagreements in your marriage, don't run to your family immediately. Don't run to your mother or your father, because you are creating a huge problem between your husband and your family, or between your wife and your family. They will never like him. They will never like her. So you can find a neutral person who can counsel both of you. You can find a pastor, somebody that you love, an elderly person in the church. Don't run to your mother, because if there is an issue in my marriage, if maybe I think that my husband is not treating me well, and I tell my mother about it, my mother will side with me, because my mother likes me and my mother loves me. So no matter what, okay, if there is no fear of God in my mom or in my dad, they will side with me. They will never like my husband. If my husband runs to his mother or his father or one of his sisters or one of his brothers, they will never like me. You are creating a huge problem, something that you will not be able to solve. And it will bring a lot of issues between your husband or between your spouse and your family. So I will advise you, if there are some disagreement, there is something going on that you don't like, don't go and expose yourself. Don't go and tell everybody about your husband's weaknesses in your family, especially in your family, because you think that they like you. If something happens and they tell you, oh, pack your things and leave the marriage, and then you come back to the family house, they will use your situation to insult you. They will use your situation to insult. They will tell you, you even got married. What happened? You are a bad woman. You are a bad man. Why? Because you expose yourself. You expose your marital issues to people who are not supposed to know. Your husband, you and your husband, you are on the same page. As I said, find a neutral person. Speak to that person so that that person will counsel you. It will be the last resort that maybe you don't have anybody. That is why you need greater and other relationships apart from your parents. You need some relationship that you can nourish. In the church, we have pastors, we have counselors, and we have elderly people that you can speak to. Find a neutral person that you think your husband or your wife respect, so that they can speak into your marriage. Because as I said, if I tell my parents about whatever is going on in my marriage, they will never like my husband. And then later, when my husband changed, and then I go to my mother, Mama, you know, it's okay. Oh, my husband is a good man. The way my mother will look at me, are you not the same person who came and said that your husband is a bad man? Your husband is not treating you. Your husband is wicked. Your husband is evil. But you want your marriage. You love that man. If there is any disagreement, there is conflict, my dear, find a way. Speak to your husband about it. Speak to your wife about it. But if the situation is beyond you, then as I said, find a neutral person so that that person can speak to your husband, can speak to your wife, so that you can solve that issue. Because whether you like it or not, the two families, they have become one. So if you keep on exposing your spouse's behavior to your family will never respect your spouse, and it will create a lot of issues. And then later on, they will use it against him, or they will use it against her, and you bring a lot of attack, okay, to your marriage. So I will advise you that anytime that you are going through so much in your marriage, the first thing is for you to speak to your spouse about it. The second thing is that you pray about it and ask God to give you the wisdom that you need. And then thirdly, find a neutral person, a counselor, somebody that you can speak to, somebody that you respect, somebody that you adore. Even you have to even pray about it before you speak to somebody else. Pray and say, Father, I need somebody to talk to. I need somebody to tell my issues to. Please guide me. Because when you read Psalm 32 verse 8, it says, I will guide you along the best pathway for your life. It is not everybody who can counsel you. It is not everybody who can understand your issue. It is not everybody who has gone through what you are going through. And the family would now advise you to get out of the marriage, and they will start accusing, and they will spread the message everywhere. And your husband doesn't have a good name in your family. Your wife doesn't have a good name in your family. Why? Because it was you. You are still in the marriage. You are still in the marriage. So why are you doing this to your spouse? Why are you doing this to your marriage? You are not protecting the marriage bed. You are still in the marriage. If you have divorced, then you are gone. Then you can expose your spouse. But remember, you are still in the marriage and you are trying to work things out. So if you are trying to work things out, it is not the family who can handle that. Find somebody else to do that for you, so that you can protect the integrity of your husband, the integrity of your wife, so that maybe someday, Christmas festivity like this, families, we are all coming together to eat together. They will still respect your husband. They will still honor your wife. They will still respect your wife, so that, you will have a beautiful, the two families, they have become one. There will not be any issue, because sometimes when there is family get together, It is because of this issue. You went to your mom, you went to your dad. Oh, my mother is my friend, my father is my friend. But remember that they will side with you. So that is why I'm advising you that let it be the last resort, that maybe you have nobody to speak to. That is why you decided to consult your mom or to consult your dad. Please don't do something that will come back to hurt you in the future. Make sure you protect your husband's or your wife's integrity in your family. Let them respect, because there are some husbands and there are some wives. They cannot even go to their spouse's family house. Why? Because they don't have any honor there. People don't respect them. Anytime the father or the mother or a sister or a brother sees them, they start insulting them. And you have been mistreating my husband, my sister. You have been mistreating my brother and all that. A lot of conflict. Avoid that. Keep your mouth shut. Okay, learn to keep your mouth shut and find somebody that you can trust and speak to the person about it.